Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another session of Falcons, the Men of North Catholic. And I have joined with me tonight.
Dominic Valentino, class of 91.
Dominic, I'm loving the backstop, dude.
I wish I could say I created it, and I wish I knew who did, but man, it's pretty cool. I couldn't
Dude,
pass that up.
it's badass. So, you ready to take a trip down memory lane, brother?
Would love to.
1991. Well, that's year you graduated. So it would be what, 1987, I guess?
Yeah, started in 87, yeah.
What do you remember about your first day at North Catholic?
Oh man, I was scared as can be. I think I was a small guy, pretty short, pretty thin, and the place seemed so big, and the upperclassmen seemed so big, and I just remember being overwhelmed by just getting lost in the hallways. So it took a little bit of time to adapt, and I probably didn't really get in gear till maybe even after freshman year. But man, it was quite a roller coaster early on.
So what was the parish and the neighborhood that you came from?
MDG, so right over in Port Richmond, and that a lot of my classmates actually went to North, so I knew a lot of guys from that perspective. But smallish classes, so I think there might have been, I don't know, boys and girls in the MDG. There might have been maybe 25, 26 in the class, something like that. Yeah, a lot of good folks.
So North Catholic, I'm sure we can both agree, had some amazing teachers and oblates.
Oh yeah.
And I can't really say none of them was our favorites, but to each student, one stood out to a single person. Who stood out to you the most?
It was Father Robert Aschenbrenner. He had perhaps one of the biggest impacts on changing my life and my career pathway. And so, and I've told him this. I actually have met him for lunch a couple times at the Oblate's retirement house down in Maryland. And I don't know if you remember Father Ash, but he had that booming voice, and he was always a stickler for checking the homework and doing things in a certain way. But there was this one conversation he had with me. I was doing so in algebra in his class, and he held me back one afternoon. He said, "Look, you got to make some decisions in your life. Do you want to commit to this and do better because you have the talent to do it, or do you just want to give it up and not use the talent that you have?" And it really made me think about things differently, to the point where I changed what I was doing and started to do a lot better, and opened up a lot of doorways for me in how I was looking at my career and my future. So I'll never forget that. And I've had I guess the blessing of being able to thank him in person a few times. So that's pretty cool.
So I'm assuming your freshman year was a little bit of a tough transition for you. And like I mentioned before, a lot of oblates or teachers, they had two things. They either kicked your ass or like you said, they sat you down and talked to you. So I'm assuming you had a rough transition.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's weird. I did very well in grade school, without trying really hard, and then high school was a whole different animal. And I was in the I don't know, different tracks they had. I think it was track one, so I had some of the harder classes starting out with, and it really kicked me in the ass. And I don't even know that I fully, kicked into gear the way I should have up until maybe late in junior year, but I did make a lot of changes, and I kept doing, making changes college and beyond. But yeah, so they really were motivators and helping to push me in the right direction.
North Catholic had a ton of great sports teams, a lot of great clubs, incredible band. What did you participate, if any, at school?
Yeah, I wish I got more involved in some of the other things my freshman and sophomore year, but I didn't. I came out of my shell end of sophomore year, And in junior year, I got involved in student government and a couple of other activities. And I think senior year, I was one of the student officers. Billy Winklicki was the president, and Mike Timms, Jim Mansfield, and myself were the four elected representatives for the class for the school. So that was really cool. I got to meet a lot of great people. I got to do some leadership training. We worked with leadership from our sister school, Little Flower, on a couple of projects like the dances we used to have. Taylor's nightclub is one fond memory. So that kind of stuff, I definitely really dove into, I think, junior and senior year. But wish I did more freshman and sophomore year, because there was a lot to do there at that school.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think freshman and sophomore year, I played sports all 4 years. But yeah, like you said,
guy, right?
I was a soccer guy. Believe it or not, I only played 1 year.
Really? Okay.
Don't know why, but I did 4 years of baseball.
Nice.
Which is really, really weird. I mean, you were from Port Richmond, so most of the guys, we played everything.
Yeah.
You and I even played roller hockey.
I wish they had a team, man. I'd have been on that.
Yeah. So, junior and senior year, I got involved with the same thing like you, student government. Father McGee, who was a huge person, with the activities. And you mentioned Taylor's. Do you remember Pulsations?
Oh yeah. I think I made it to one of those crazy Pulsations things. I think Pulsations was the one with the robot. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Whether it's Taylor's or Pulsations, let's be honest with each other. Did you go to dance or did you go to hook up?
That's great. I was definitely a little bit shy when it came to girls, but I think I actually broke up with a girlfriend at one of those places. As far as I think it was Taylor's. Yeah, that was the one over in Cherry Hill, right?
You know what? I don't remember going.
I
remember Pulsations.
I think Taylor's was the one near like the racetrack circle or something. I'm not even sure if it still stands, but I remember doing some kind of like we taped a promo. You remember the news thing we put on? That was something else I did. NCTV, yeah. So I was one of the founders and producers of NCTV, and
wow,
I wrote the scripts, and we did some of the talent stuff behind the news desk occasionally. It was a lot of fun. But we got together out of that, and we filmed a commercial, and I think it was at Taylor's, and I was dressed in a tuxedo opening a door for somebody. That's one of the memories I have of it. Good times, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, with this documentary I'm doing on YouTube, if you're not aware, there's some old NCTV on YouTube.
I've heard that. Yeah, man. I gotta look.
Definitely gotta look. It's up there.
Wow.
Yeah. So great memories, especially with all that. And the activities were great, dude. I think at one point we even started doing dances, if I'm not mistaken, at the school.
Yep. We did. We had the class dances, like the underclassmen dances were in the cafeteria. And then there was between our school and I think Little Flower. I think we did some conjoint dances that were, sort of a free for all, but they were fun. They were fun. I really look forward to those kind of things that we did together. And don't forget Battle of the Sexes. Remember that?
That was my next question.
Oh man. Yeah. I helped organize that one. I think it was senior year, and I had some video of that somewhere. I still have.
Now, did you guys originate that as well?
Yeah, I think it started up a couple of years before us. I don't know that our class originated it, but with student government, we were involved heavily in planning it. In fact, I remember a video I did with Billy Winklicki, Mike Timms, Jim Mansfield. We were dressed up like the guys from Public Enemy and filmed a commercial, kind of hyping up the competition between us and the Little Flower.
Mm-hmm.
Girls. So that was played at one of those NCTV things. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was great. So we mentioned about the dances in the cafeteria, which brings me to my next topic: North Catholic cafeteria food.
Oh yeah.
What was Dom's go-to?
Come on. Everybody's going to say that the cheese fries, right? I would have to say, Yeah, it's going to be the cheese fries for me that I miss the most. I would say that was the favorite. I would say the most mysterious one was the veal patty. I'm not sure that was veal, but I don't know if you remember that guy, little veal parmesan thing with the mystery meat patty. But yeah, those two things come to mind.
Cheese fries or cheese fries with extra cheese?
They were slathered, man. I just like the fact that they were those little shoestring fries. Remember
Yeah.
those? They're hard to find, man.
Did you use the mystery ketchup?
Occasionally,
You
yeah.
know what I mean by mystery ketchup, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it was, like some kind of red thin sauce, right? Is that
Not
what
only
you
that, if it was in that tin pan, you didn't know what the hell people were putting in it.
That's true. I always thought that was like that made it a pizza fry thing. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, yeah.
But that was good. How about the smell of those donuts in the morning? Remember that?
I'm Eric Butter, class of 1990, says they were half cooked. I'm gonna half cooked.
Probably half cooked, and that's probably what made them so damn good. But the smell was great.
So let's see here. Justice under God.
Oh yeah.
Jug. Were you a participant, Dom, or what happened? How many?
One, I almost got through without one single day, but Ernie caught me in the hallway senior year. I thought, I had my little student government pin on, and I was running up to the activities office in a hallway I was not supposed to be in. Ernie turns the corner. He's all business, and gives me my one and only day of jug. So I did it. I think Leo Donahue was the president over it that afternoon.
I started sitting back and thinking about Ernie Koshnick and like you said, you're running down the hallways and out turns Ernie Koshnick. The movie The Breakfast Club comes into mind, where
Yeah.
the students are in the hallway and then the dean of students. Could that guy, that actor who played in Breakfast Club, the dean, could he actually portray Ernie Koshnick in a movie?
I am sure. I am sure he could. I mean, yeah, Ernie originated that character.
I believe he did. I believe he
Yeah.
did. Which, by the way, Ernie's going to be my next guest next Friday night, or next Friday morning, I should say.
That is awesome. I got to see that one. Yeah.
That should be serious. So we're both Port Richmond guys.
Yeah.
And, we had to take the bus and the L to school. But eventually, somewhere along the line, we got older and we got our driver's license. Did you drive to school? And if you did, what did you have?
Absolutely. A lot of my buddies will remember the Cougar. I had I think it was like an 87, 88 Cougar. That thing was like the weekend mobile, man. We had a lot of fun going to and fro. And I think I had that from mid junior year, and I had it up into college too. So that was the buggy.
Did you have a booming system in it that back time, or was it just regular speakers?
I actually had the stock system. I didn't tamper with it too much, but it got a lot of play. Yeah.
So let's see. We talk about everybody has that theme song. I don't know if you want to call it a theme song, but when everybody's driving up into school or driving around the neighborhood, we grew up with club music.
Yeah.
Did you have a particular song, or if you've seen some girls, little flower girls walking up the street, and you want to hurry up and quick throw that cassette tape in there and throw what song did Dominic? What was your go-to song?
Oh man, it was so eclectic. I mean, there was a little bit of Public Enemy and NWA on tap, but then there was also Elton John and Billy Joel. I was just into all that stuff. But I would say around that time, it was probably, if it would have been a Public Enemy song getting flipped on, or it would have been one of those maybe one-hit wonders or three-hit wonders. I know he's not really a one-hit wonder. He's been around a little while. Stevie B, remember him?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So he would have been somebody we would have probably tapped into too.
Suit jackets, half or full?
Oh God, man. Well, back then it would have been half, man, because I think it was the Z Cavarici look where you had the half with the Z Cavaricis, and it kind of all silhouetted you together. So yeah, I think I wore probably more of the halves than I did the fulls.
During our era and all years, the infamous knock the books out of the guy's hands and kick them down the hallway.
Uh,
You're shaking your head.
yeah.
Is it?
I was the victim of that a few times. I never did it to anyone, but like I said, when I started, I was a small guy and I was probably quite timid and shy. And yeah, I was a good target. So that happened to me probably 6 or 7 times. Stuffed in a locker once or twice too.
Did it make you late for class?
The locker stuffing did, I think. The book thing, I was able to usually collect myself quickly, but you never know, man. You turn a corner, you're in a hallway, you're in the stairwell. You could lose those things.
Amen. North Catholic guys were notorious for the one-handed, probably the fastest in the world, opening up the combination locker to your locker. How fast did Dominic Valentino, how fast were you able to get that lock open?
Man, I don't know. I probably wasn't setting the world speed record for that. And I know I had to call the locker doctor a few times because I screwed it up.
That's a name you haven't heard. The locker doctor.
Mr. Johnson, man, God rest his soul. He was the man. Yeah, I would say I was on the slow end. I probably spent more time getting that thing open than I did getting my books out of it.
And then the guys with the top part, they would hang on it and then jam it shut.
Yeah, and that would add to it. They'd run by while you're doing it, and then you're trying to hammer that thing and get it closed. Yep. Good stuff.
Do you remember the Munchkin salute?
I remember it existed. I don't, and I probably was made to do it a few times, but I couldn't go. I don't know how it went.
I just remember, you used to have to do a little twiddle with your fingers up here.
Yeah.
And then after that, you were indoctrinated as a Falcon. We need to find somebody that can come up with that. So
that was with the wizard, Mr. Fitz, right?
Yes.
That all took place there. Yeah.
Direction of intention. Do you remember it?
Sadly, probably pieces and parts, or if you started it off, I probably would have a flashback.
My God, I give you this class.
Please give me the grace to conduct myself in a manner most fitting to you. Is that right?
Very close, very close.
Damn.
My God, I give you this class. Please give me the grace to conduct myself during it in a manner most pleasing to you. God be blessed.
There we go. V and J.
Don, what would have been your fondest memory of North Catholic?
Oh man, that's tough. I guess, all good things come to an end, and graduation was really tough because I remember being sad in a way that a lot of this stuff was coming to an end and I wasn't going to see the guys I saw. I was valedictorian. So if you remember how they did it, they had a competition for the reader and the writer. So I was the writer, and Jim Mansfield won the competition for reading. So I remember sitting up on stage at Holy Family in the gym where we did graduation. And as he was getting up to start to read, I just took in like as much of the audience as I could, and saw my classmates. And as he went through it, there were a couple of parts there that were intended to kind of, if you had good memories or you were sad to leave North, maybe make you a little bit emotional. And I saw that on people's faces, and that I knew something I would never forget. It was a really, really good moment. Yeah, that was probably one of them.
If you're walking the halls at your work there, and maybe it's a little cold there, maybe you got your North Catholic thing on, or maybe somebody comes into your office and see this and they said to you, "Hey Dom, what's the deal with this North Catholic? What was it like? What was it like to be a North Catholic Falcon? How would you describe it?"
Yeah, I get that from my kids. I wear my Falcon gear if I'm down on the boardwalk in Ocean City or just out and about, and invariably people will come up and say, "Class of '74, class of 98," and they're like, "What are you talking about?" And it's hard to explain to people who didn't go through it or don't, because I think schools are a bit different these days. But I just say it was. I try to tell people it was really like, a place where I think boys became men, and a lot of us got put on the right track in life, and it was just done with a lot of great camaraderie, and you made connections. I think we all hold on to for life. So that's kind of how I try to summarize it for my kids when they ask me, what's that North Catholic thing about?
So 2009, I don't know how you received the message. Cardinal Regali makes that statement that North Catholic's going to close its doors for good.
Yeah.
You said you met Father Ashenburner, who changed your life pretty much.
Yeah.
You joined the student government, and you're valedictorian of your class. A lot of each one of us was left in that building. What goes through your mind when you hear it's closing?
Oh man. One of the hardest days I think of my life, because I had been working on some things to set up some scholarships with a couple of other folks and get them funded, and we were all about the future. We weren't really thinking that was going to, because we'd been hearing about that for years. It was going to close. It was going to close. The cardinal before him had said it, and then it got saved. But when it became written in stone and black and white, it was like somebody just pulled a piece of your heart out. For me, it made me reconsider who I was going to support and how I would support them going forward, and what so-called leadership institutions meant to me going forward. And I reassessed all of that and changed the way I approach things. But it's really tough, man. Even now, when I was looking for some backdrops, there's a couple that have the opening date of North Catholic and then the closing date 2010. And it's just hard to look at that still, because I think our alumni association is very much alive. You doing this, for example, is one element. Down in Wildwood every year, there's huge gatherings of alumni, and all over the world. I think you'll find North Catholic alumni. So I mean, we're alive and well in that way, but it's never easy when you have to know that it's not there. For example, I can't go by the school and look at it. I can't.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to bring myself to drive by there. Even looking at those pictures of the gym, when they were tearing it out, and the empty auditorium, the faculty house, which I think just got knocked down, man, that's just tough to look at. So,
Yeah. You ready for a little North Catholic trivia?
Give it to me, man.
All right. According to North Catholic's Wikipedia, North Frankfurt, the oldest rivalry in the city, played 82 games total.
Yeah.
Out of 82 games, how many were ties?
Ties. Oh man. I'm gonna say there were 8 ties.
Correct answer is 2.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Well, if I looked at it right again, my eyes could be deceiving me too. So I got 1931. It was a 0-0 tie.
All right.
And in 1962, it was a 6-6 tie.
Wow. All right. Good stuff.
A little bit of North Catholic history. So tough times, Dom. And I know with the pandemic, I mean, you're a frontline worker. It's been tough. You're doing your little podcast yourself. There's no movies. There's no going out to eat. It's tough to see family. For all your brother Falcons out there that are going to view this tonight, what kind of advice can you offer everybody?
Yeah, I think for those that don't know, I'm a pulmonary and critical care doctor. So my statements on this will be, accordingly based on that experience. But the future is going to be brighter. I am 100% positive of that, despite the daily outflow of news to the contrary sometimes. I think between the vaccine rollout and some of the things that we're doing or have done even over the last few months, we're going to be there soon. So I think the summer and fall of 2021 is going to look a lot better for us than 2020. And it's important for people to keep focus on the light at the end of the tunnel, because I think it's easy to get really down and discouraged. And there's, there's brighter days ahead.
I know you mentioned, and I follow you on your podcast, which I think it's awesome because we all know today in social media and in the media itself, you hear one story, then you hear the other story, you don't know what to believe. And
Yeah.
I know you put out there that it's basically your opinion. You're not everybody's doctor. So this is basically what you said. Talk with some of the people, like not knowing even this year if there could be possible summer reunion. Do you, in your opinion, um, think that it would be, because we got a lot of older alumni,
Sure.
would it be safe to possibly do a summer reunion at a place like Keenan's?
Yeah, I think a lot of that depends on how many folks get vaccinated. I think the vaccine is the key to reopening doors for social outings and normalcy. And I got my vaccine. I got both doses. I got the Pfizer. I would have gotten the Moderna. It doesn't matter to me. They're both very solid in the scientific data on them. But I do think that's going to be the key to allowing things like that to happen. I think without that, John, it gets a little sketchy, especially when you're talking about older, more vulnerable alumni, folks that are past their, 65 mark or have some other problems. It could be a little risky to be around a couple
Yeah.
hundred people, right?
Yep. It was an absolute pleasure. And it was great to see an old friend from the neighborhood again, and
Same here,
glad to
man.
see how well you're doing in life and, making the whole North Catholic community proud. Again, I want to thank you for joining us tonight, taking time from your tough schedule. I know you're at work a lot and you're away from your family. I want to thank your family as well for, letting you share some time with us today. You have any final words, one last words, everybody?
A couple of weeks ago, I write this blog, and every couple of weeks I come out with some updates, and I used some words that North Catholic alumni would know very well. The words were onward, onward, and I think that is the thing that in these times we have to focus on. And it felt nice to step back into my old North Catholic shoes and think about what that meant then and what it means now. So maybe you can all reflect on that a little bit too. And I thank John for doing this. I think this is a great thing. He certainly brought out some thoughts tonight that I hadn't thought about in 30 years. So that was great, and I hope it brings up some good memories for the alumni that watch.
Dom, thank you so much. Stay safe. I hope you and your family have a great new year. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay blessed. And thank you, my man. I really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
John. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. And then you do the same, man. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
You too.